Today, June 30, 2022 was an excellent day to see exactly how things happen and seeing how the STRAT works perfectly. Let's get into this. Okay, today we had we see this doji, and we all know what that means. That means that the price isn't going up, it's not going down. It finishes like that. Just nobody knew what to do. There was price action going up, there was price action going down. So it's kind of an indecision kind of day, but it's interesting to see because keep your eye on it tomorrow. I know Friday's dump day, but this could signal something that there could be a reversal in the mix. Could be. Don't quote me on it. Again, I'm not your advisor. I'm just showing you what I see. But this could turn into an actionable signal if this thing takes off and turns into a 2 to the upside. But what we see today was a 2 to the downside. We see that it started right here and just plunged down and then worked its way back up through the rest of the day. So if you got in early and got in some puts or some shorts, you would have done really well. And if you would have seen the bottom and knew where it was at, you would have rode it back up. So looking at this, again, this is a 2 to the downside. Previous day, 2 to the downside. Previous day before that, 2 to the downside. There's your actionable signal right there. That is your rev strat right there. That is reversal signal. And what do we see? Sure enough, we saw a reversal. Again, this is our trend line that's on our bottom. We're nowhere near it yet. We're 656 at about 624, so we're about $30 off of that. Could it get down there? Of course it can. Of course it can. But how could we have looked at this today? We knew that this thing was going down, and once it surpassed this previous day's candle low at 666, the evil number, once it surpassed that, went below that, that was our target to get in. Okay, that was our entry point right there. So where was our entry point? Right here at the bottom of the previous day's low. We would have known that would have been our target to get in. That would have been our entry point. And then what would our target have been? Always look left because there's history and we can see and set up supports and resistant points off of that. So if we just go down here and look, what was the next low after that? This candle here on June 15th, the low of that candle was around 654, 655, somewhere in that ballpark. And that would have been our target. So this will be target number 2. But what we saw today, what happened was after we got in our entry here, it went down, and what did it do? It came very, very close to that first target. And once it got to there and started going back up, or you set your stop here, that's fine, your first target. But if it doesn't hit that, you got to have your finger on the trigger and get ready, because most of the time it may hit it, it may not. And if it doesn't, it gets close and it starts going the other way. Look at the shorter time frames, the 1, the 3, the 5 minute chart. Then you can start seeing the trend start to go the other way. Even using the strat, you can still get out before this thing actually hits that target. And then you end up being a bag holder thinking, I'm not going to get out until it hits that target. That's being a bag holder, and that is not being a very good trader. So what you want to do is set your targets, and then if you're getting close, start getting ready to end your trade. Move your target back up a little bit, because a lot of the times it doesn't actually hit. So you always got to keep an eye on it and see what's happening with that. It's an excellent day to see exactly this strat working just like that. It was perfect. Now remember, we had set our entry line on the previous day's low. So this is it right here. So price action in the morning, it came down to it, it touched it, it didn't go beyond it. So it wouldn't have been time to get in until we saw confirmation going beyond that. We didn't have it here. We see a dip, the next candle took off and bounced off of it. That is not confirmation for you to buy in. So we wait and wait, and you have to sit on your hands and just be patient and trust the trade and trust the process, because it works. And once you pass that previous day low, it's time to get in. And knowing that you're at the bottom, at our target, that was the target that we'd set, what was going to happen? A possible rush through, or is it going to bounce off of it and go up? Well, what we saw was, we saw resistance getting close to that, and then boom, time to get out. So again, using the STRAT, you look at your entry points, and then you look at your targets. Those are support. Your target is a line of support or resistance, either way you're going, and that's what it does. And watch what it does, and you have to be very careful in watching this, because it may not get close to hitting that line, your target, the resistance or support. It may not go beyond that. It may even come short of that and then repel itself going off. So that's why you want to keep an eye on what's happening as you're getting close to your targets. So again, when you're looking the night before, set everything up. Set up your entry points, set up your targets, set up your exits. That's the best way to have a plan in trading before you even pull the trigger. If you have your plan set the night before, your chance of success is a lot greater than sitting there waiting for the bell to ring and then figure out what's going to happen as it's happening, when you have no clue and no history and no context of what's happening with the trade. Okay, so trust it. You got to trust the method of the STRAT. You have to trust the process, trust the plan. That is the only way you're going to be successful. And take your emotions and everything out of it, and you will be a successful trader.